Hello again. Okay. Design calls for a 61-inch belly. What have we got so far? "60 inches to here. And there's still a little piece of the first filler and the second filler to go. That's fine, because on rolling that might shrink back a little bit. So, let's finish it off. Oh yeah, before I forget, this malarkey about, where are you? Here you are. Over 3 this way, when I went under 1 over 1, under 1 over 1, and then under 2 over 2. Instead of going under 1 over 1 on one side and then under 1 over 1 on the other as I come out of the single diamond pattern, I could just repeat on the same side. So go under 1 over 1, under 1 over 1, and then on the same side over 1, under 1, over 1, under 1, and then go into the 4 seam work as I did up at the top. The only thing is that if I've set myself up to counter the bias directly, or to hold the whip core or innards thus far in a natural position, that will knock it off a quarter, I think. So it'll twist it round somewhat. So if I were doing that purposely, I would start off compensating for that by twisting it the other way and then come back onto the right pitch. I think that's about it. Let's have a little look. Full seam, STV full seam, not it's not unavoidable. Ah yes, and this little peculiarity anyway only seems to exist for plats divisible by 8. So 8 plat does this and 16 plat. But if I were doing a 12 or a 20, I would go under 1 over 1, under 1 over 1, under 1 over 1, and then under 1 over 1, under 1 over 1 over 1 over 1, under 1, I can't remember. Anyway, this doesn't happen on a 12 and a 20 plat if you start off with under rather than starting off with over. I think I got that down. Right. So, we're now getting towards the point of the belly. Not much to say, it's all very repetitive. And I'm still choosing to wrap it around my hand and pull rather than hold it just in my fingers. Because, well, it's fairly thick leather. The thicker the leather, the more it seems to require a longer pull. Like it sort of strains itself out in the previous section of plaiting. And this is just the belly. Wait till we got onto 20 strands for the overlay and doing it really neatly and everything. Of course the inner should be finished the same quality as the outer. And that is what I strive to do. And so far, so good. Nice and tight and dense and even and straight. Okay, a few more of these. Just give you a flavour of the utter tedium of staring at a wall and plaiting bits of leather together. It'll drive you mad, although to start off mad probably saves the effort. Okay, so yes, I have just about now covered all of both pieces of the filler, and therefore I'm up to the length required. However, I'm going to carry on plaiting, because as I said earlier, pulling tight here tensions it further up as well. So I'll do another couple of courses and then draw a close to the plaiting bit. I should now be around about the 63 and a half inch neck of the woods. Right, a couple more and I think that'll do. Just tighten these lot off. Okay, that'll do. And sling a hitch around here to hold it all together while doing the next bit. Okay. Let's see what we have now. Hard work. Okay. Yeah, look, comfortably over. 60. Two and a half, give or take. All right. Let's roll it. Okay, before I do roll it, so far, okay, pretty straight bias, indicative of straight plaiting. Let's have a little look, a bit wibbly, not too wibbly. Fairly even, nothing wrong with that, jolly D. Okay. Rolly time. Get your papers out. Oh dear, I have a camera on my head. It's too late to take my jumper off because this is going to be hot work. Might as well roll the butt extension bit as well. Okay. I weigh about 10 and a bit stone, 10 and a quarter stone, and it's all going on this. Good for the abs this time. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a workout here. Jolly good. At this stage you'll feel how round it is, whether or not there are any ridges or bumps. Say you're using quite thick leather and you've just dropped a couple of strands somewhere, there might be a ridge. You might need to concentrate a bit more effort on that. Maybe give it a little knock. Okay, hello. It's looking okay. And as you see, it's become more flexible. Right. Let's see if there's been any change in size. Not a lot, actually. Two, not much. So I just have to come back to about there and I'm spot on. Okay, where do we get string? Oh, there you are. Really interested to see how this turns out. Oops. Okie dokie, let's unwind you to there. That seems to be just enough. I'd want to come down to about 1.5 inches beyond anyway with the strand. As I said, a couple of courses of plaiting to make sure it's all tightened up just nicely. Now Where's the end of that core? Not visible just yet. Might have shrunk back inside a bit more. Keep an eye on it. But I think it might have gone rather well. Next one, isn't it? This one. No, it's this one. I'll do this one. So that's our finished length of plaited belly. Now to deal with the strand ends and cut them off to the right length. Right, remember Alex, this is not a 6-foot whip, this is a 7-foot whip. That means 84 whole imperial inches. Okay. Okay. Right, let's see what we got here. Handle it here. 5. Okay. 60. Yep, that is indeed a 60. That's 61 and a bit then, isn't it? 60. $70, 80, 4. Right. That's the nominal length of the bullwhip, but I'm going to add another inch just in case it, in fact I'll add an inch and a half for this, just in case it comes back a little on rolling. Either waist, hecky thump. Now, this is going to be the longest strand. This has gone round, so that's probably an extra inch worth, but this particular strand will form the core that goes the full length and through the English eye, protruding about, what, this much at the other end. So that is the right length. Now I just need to trim these off. Like so. Half. Three-quarter. Full, half, three-quarter. Let's have you. Between here and here. That doesn't look right, does it? That should be more like here. I'll save you. You look right, you look right, you look not quite right. So let's do these again. Yep, you're good. You. Drops down to here. Could be you. Yeah, I didn't get enough off you, did I? Bear with me, dear viewer. I'll get it right eventually. Right. You, and you now look about right, don't you? So, now, let's have a quarter. That still doesn't look right, does it? That's this one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I'm somehow not doing this right, am I? That's the full length one. That's the half. That's 3/4. Then I want that one there. Ah, yeah. You are this one here, aren't you? Makes sense. Which means that you are this one. Right. So far so good. After a bit of confusion. Now, let's trim them off as best I can with a pair of scissors. A better background than a pink mat. Ho hum. And after this, I'll need to finesse them with a knife. But this helps to just get the end of the strands nice and neat. And when I'm skiving down with the knife, it also reminds me where the start of the last bit of taper is. So don't chop the end off, I hope. So it's now back onto the hook. One, Where's number 2? There you are. I just need to taper each successive strand from the end of the previous one. Near enough. Like that. One, two, three. So from here where am I up to? To this one here. Once again, start a little bit further back, get a bit of momentum up, and then bring the knife down onto the work and gradually squeeze it through the fingers to give that taper. Just done you, haven't I? Let's do it again. Just a smidge more off. Like that. Sometimes it's just half a mil, but it's nice to get it right. So far, so good. Where am I up to? About here, about here. This still isn't the last stage. You're tapered, aren't you? You're not. If I were plaiting the overlay from the butt, this would be the last stage of belly preparation. But I'm not. I'm going to be plaiting this from... Don't need to come down to 0, I need to come down to a little bit, but not much. Right, so look. All nicely tapered off, so that this whole section should have a reasonable taper. I need to remove more off this one. Not a lot, just a smidge. Right. Now, this one is going to be plaited from the point, and if I try to insert all these little strand ends, it's going to be a right mess. So what I'm going to do is take that hitch out and bind these strand ends together both ways, left and right, so there's no torsional imbalance, with twine, just as I did for the core. And so it'll end up being bound to about here. That's going to be a tedious bore, and you don't really want to watch a bloke wrapping bits of leather and bits of string, do you? So we can take that as read and pick that up when it's time to design the overlay. Right, cheers, bye for now.